Hi guys, nice to see so many of you here. We're just going to give it a couple more minutes before we start. And we'll just let a few more people come, give it a few minutes, okay? So just bear with us, okay? Hi guys, we just give it a few more, just one more minute and then we'll start off. I hope you can all hear me. Don't worry, I'll explain how you can all talk later. Give me 1 second. Hello, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to the Business English Workshop. I'm glad to see so many old faces here, not old in age, but old students who have come to watch our webinar. And I just explained a little bit about it. You can send messages on the chat, no problem. You can send questions. There's a button that says Q&A. But at the end, we'll open up your mics. We're not going to open them up allow you to open up during the session, because sometimes we'll be going through something and it's just better we open them up at the end. So you can ask me any questions you might have about today's workshop or about English workshop. This is to focus on confidence in your interview skills and your meeting skills. They are both very similar, but we'll be taking through a little bit of language for each one as well. So before I get started, I'd just like to, because there are some people who are new to the school, haven't actually been to SVS, and so I'd like to just talk a little bit about our project. So let me get started. So the SVS School for English is a charitable organization. We're set up in Colombo, High Level Road, Kilapang. We've been in Sri Lanka for many years. We have a hospital project in Muskelia, but what we're going to focus on today is the SVS School for English. We provide English classes at a very low cost, so everyone can study with us. It's a great school for many reasons. We have many students from many different countries. We have from Korea, from Myanmar, from China, Laos, Cambodia, Japan, and obviously Sri Lanka. Now, if you look at some of these pictures here, you'll see all the different types of students we have. But the SVS school is not just about having students from all over the world, although that's a great way to learn, because you learn about different cultures as well. So you're learning new things about different people, but you're also learning the language at the same time. But we also try to have fun. So if you look at this picture in the top left-hand corner there, you'll see this was at the start of 2019, before everything happened. And we had what's known as what we call the International Day. So this is where people came and they did performances from their own countries, and we had a small party, we had dancing, we had food, there was I think a karate presentation where I got kicked in the bum, and then everyone just had a great time. And we try to make SVS like that every day. We try to let everybody enjoy learning. It's not just about sitting down and learning from me dictating at the front of the class, but it's about participating and everyone getting together and talking and using the language. It's a language after all. We have to communicate with one another, not just listening, but also speaking. So that's a little bit about the school. If you hang about till the end, we'll explain a little more about how you can get in contact with us. But now we're going to get started. So we're going to get started with interviews. We're going to start off with interviews. So I'm going to start by sending out a poll, and I want you all to vote. What do you find difficult when you are in an interview? Okay, so you have four things you can choose there. You can choose more than one if you want. If you have a problem with all of them, just choose all of them. But choose which area you have the biggest problems. Do you have problems with your confidence? So confidence as in, are you shy? Are you nervous when you go into the interview? With your pronunciation, okay? That's not a massive thing here, I know, but still pronunciation might be one of your problems. With your language, okay? The type of language you use, your useful language, as it were, as we call it in school. Or with the structure of your sentences, So I'm not going to take long, just going to give you 1 more minute, 10 more seconds. Let's see. Okay, so we're getting, there's a big mix here. There's a big mix, which is quite funny. But yeah, we've got, I think it's kind of equal. I think a lot of you are going with structure and confidence as being the biggest issues when you go into an interview. I don't blame you. Confidence is a very hard thing when you go into an interview, very difficult. Anyway, I'm going to close up this poll now because I think pronunciation, there's not many people who have voted for pronunciation. Within Sri Lanka, I know that pronunciation is not too bad. There are other nations where obviously they need to work. Myanmar students, we have a lot of you guys here at the school, and your pronunciation can sometimes, you can struggle with your pronunciation. We'll look at that as well. So we're going to look at these things and we're going to try and show you how you can improve them. Okay. So I'm going to end that poll there. And let's move on. Okay, so interviews. So the first part of an interview, okay, where I'm going to give you a demonstration. So I'm going to call on Mr. Arun, who is a teacher, the handsome Mr. Arun. Hi, Mr. Arun, how are you today?
Hi, Sebastian.
Okay, so Mr. Arun and I are going to do a mock interview for you. Okay, it's not going to be a full interview. It's going to be a very short one, just to give you an idea. And then I'm going to give you a poll afterwards as well. Okay, are you ready, Mr. Arun?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so hi, good morning, Arun.
Good morning, Sebastian. Good morning. Thanks for taking the time to speak with me today.
Not at all. Let's get started, shall we? I'm Sebastian Lawrence, and I'm head of HR at the SVS School for English.
Very nice to meet you, Mr. Lawrence.
Nice to meet you too, Arun. So I'd like to start just by asking you what you know about our company.
I'm incredibly sorry, but I don't know much about the company at all.
Okay, that's okay. Let's learn a little bit about you beyond your CV. Why do you want to be a teacher at SVS?
I once heard that teachers here are the best in the country, so I decided to apply for it. I applied to a few other places, but I'm not so keen on joining them. One place I applied to is English Minglish, but I'm not sure whether I want to work with them, as they have locations outside the city, and I don't really like traveling too far for work. I find when I travel for long periods of time, it makes me sleepy. I prefer to be close at home in case I need to get home.
Okay, that's great. So why do you think you would make a good teacher at SVS School for English?
Well, yes, I have taught before. I'm a great teacher. I work well with people. I'm always punctual, and I love what I do. So yes, that's why you should hire me.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you, Mr. Arun. That's the end of our demonstration interview, but we'll be seeing Mr. Arun again later. Thanks very much. Okay, guys, so I want to start just by talking about a general thing. Tone, okay? Before I do, I forgot I have another poll for you all. So let's have a look at this poll. Where do you think Mr. Arun can improve? Where do you think Mr. Arun can improve? So we heard Mr. Arun, he's jumping back onto the screen. We heard Mr. Arun doing the interview, how to speak, okay. Okay, that's good. I'll show you the results of this poll at the end. Where do you think Mr. Arun could use a little bit of help? Okay, so we've got confidence there. Do you think he was a little bit shy, a little bit nervous, perhaps? We've got how to speak. Was he stuttering? Perhaps was he not clear with his speech? Language, the type of language he used. Was he polite in his language? Or the structure? Was it well structured and very logical as we were listening to him speak? So we've got a lot of votes there for how to speak. Now, obviously, this is not how Mr. Arun would really do an interview, but you're absolutely right. How to speak. I mean, confidence also, language, there could have been a bit, it could have been a bit better, and structure, yes, definitely could have been a bit better. But the most important one was how to speak. So there were the results. 57% of you said how to speak. Okay, excellent. So let's go back now to our webinar. Okay, let's go back and interviews. To start an interview, we must talk about tone. Now, a lot of you, if you've been in my class, you know exactly what I mean by tone. So tone is the way your voice, it's like music. It's the way your voice goes up and down. So I always talk about 4 different tones. So you have the very bored one where you sound like a robot that you just talk along one line. That's one. Then you have the very formal way of speaking where your voice goes up a little bit and it goes down a little bit. That's number 2. Then you have the very excited one where your voice goes up and it goes down and it's very excitable. Then you have the very angry one where it goes like this and it's very rigid, very sharp peaks and troughs in your voice. Now, the 2 we should be looking at are the 2 middle ones. The formal one where you go up and down, or maybe not very excited, but a bit more like, hi, how are you? And a very happy kind of tone to your voice. So those are the type of tones. Now, what you need to do is you need to gauge which tone to use when you go into an interview. So you listen to the interviewer. When you listen to the interviewer, if they're very formal with the way they speak, you also need to follow that and be formal with the way you speak. If they speak with a nice happy tone, then you follow that tone as well. Your voice will go up and down and up and down. And if you noticed in the last interview with Mr. Aaron, I had a happy tone. My tone, it was going up and it was going down, whilst he kept quite a formal tone. So that wasn't a good way to approach an interview. You need to mirror the, let's say, the emotions in speech of the person who's interviewing you. So that's the first point. But now let's go to how we're going to start our interview, okay? So when you start an interview, you shouldn't rush it, okay? Many people think that speaking English quickly means that you're fluent. This is absolutely rubbish, okay? I'm not speaking quickly now, but I'm definitely fluent in English. So what you need to do, don't be fast and say it as if you mean it. If I said to you, hello, nice to meet you, do I mean it? No, I don't. You need to use the language and use the correct tone when you're speaking. So let's have a look at an example. I'll say it to you and you can mirror me. Say it at home just to practice it for yourself. So this is our first one, okay? Thanks for taking the time to speak with me. Thanks for taking the time to speak with me. Try it at home. Okay, so this is a very polite way of starting your interview. As soon as you walk in, you would say something like this. We use this language in the example interview as well. Let's try a second one. I appreciate you taking time for the interview. I appreciate you taking time for this interview. Now we're saying I appreciate it. If I say, I appreciate you taking time for this interview, it's not, you don't really sound like you appreciate it, right? So you need to show that in your voice as well, that you do appreciate it. Let's try the next one, number 3. I'm sure you're busy. Thanks for making time today. Okay, I'm sure you're busy. Thank you for making time today. If you're going to a large organization, yes, they are going to be busy and they're probably going to be interviewing lots of people. So recognizing that when you start the interview is a great way to start. Okay, so these, don't worry guys, we will send you, everyone, we'll send you a copy, like a worksheet, because we have your emails when you signed up, and we'll send you a worksheet with all of these phrases on so that you can have a look at them again later. Okay, let's move on to our next one. So our next thing is going to be, why you? Now, when I say why you, I'm not talking about somebody else, I'm talking about the company itself. Why am I choosing that company? Okay, I need to know a little bit about that company. I can't just go in there and go, actually, I've never heard of you, but I heard you had jobs available and I want one. No, you need to know a little bit about the company. So something if you're applying to SVS, you might say something like this. I've read that your school is a charitable school and has been working in Colombo for many years. It doesn't have to be in great amount of detail. It's good, the more you know, the better, but you just need to show that you do know a little bit about the organization or the company that you're trying to apply to work for. So there's just a small note at the end there. You do need to know something about the company in general. Very easy to find, just go to their website. Okay, let's go to the next one. So why this? So what I mean by why this job? Why specifically this job? Okay, so when we're talking about this, we need to say what this job is going to do for us, and it's going to show that we're looking to improve ourselves. So I've done this. I like your school's approach to learning by making it fun and exciting for the students. So this is a specific thing for the classroom. So if a teacher's applying, their first thing is the overall thing, the overall project. Okay, I've heard you're a charitable organization working in Sri Lanka or working in Colombo for many years. Then you move to the more specific thing about the job you're applying for. I like your school's approach to learning by making it fun and exciting for the students. Okay. So this is showing why you want to work for that specific company, why you feel that you want to work there. Next comes, why now? Okay. Many of us perhaps will go from one job to another job, right? And so employees like to know why you're moving over. So what you're trying to do here is you're trying to show that you want to grow, that you think that that organization or that company can help you get better. Okay, while you're helping them, they're also helping you. So here you might say, I've taught in many schools in the past, but feel that I need to work in a school that also offers training to its teachers. Okay, so we're saying we've taught in many schools, so we have the experience, but I still want to learn more. And your school or your company, your organization helps its employees do that. Okay, so show how you want to advance as well by working in an organization. Again, all of this language will be sent to you guys, so don't worry about writing it down or taking screenshots. That's not a problem. Okay, next would come, why you? Why you? So you're talking about the benefits you can bring to the position, okay? You're talking about why you are the best person to do this. Now, there are so many times I've seen interviews where somebody will come in and they'll just give a load of adjectives and they'll say, I'm great, I'm wonderful. If you listen to Mr. Arendt, he said, I'm a great teacher. I'm a wonderful person. I'm the perfect person for this job. I can't remember exactly what he said. I can look at the script. I've taught before. I'm a great teacher. I work well with people. I'm always punctual. I love what I do. There's nothing wrong with that. Apart from you're just listing a load of claims. You're not showing evidence to the fact. So what you need to do is show some evidences. As I have worked in many different countries, I have learned how to be adaptable and deal with any classroom situation. So I'm not saying I'm adaptable and then moving on to the next one. I'm showing how I have become adaptable, how I'm able to be adaptable in a classroom situation, because I have a lot of experience in doing that in many different countries. So often people just list out the adjectives and I'm great, I'm wonderful, I'm super, I'm handsome, I'm beautiful. Don't do that. Show. You have to give evidence. Okay. Right. Okay. So that's interviews. Interviews over. Very easy, but I'm going to set another poll for you just to see if you've been listening. So poll number 3. Okay. Have a look here. Which one is correct? How would you start an interview? Okay, cheers for seeing me. Okay, or I appreciate you talking. But sorry, I can't read now. I appreciate you taking the time for this interview. Okay, or let's do this. Okay, so some people, okay. So cheers for seeing me. Oh, let's do this. Oh, we've got 2 people for that. And it looks like most of you are putting the second option. Yeah, we got 83% on the second option. Still some people putting, let's do this. Okay. Now, I guess saying cheers for seeing me is let's just end the poll there. Okay. Share the results with you so you can all see. There's 83% for I appreciate you taking the time for this interview, which is absolutely right. That's the kind of language you should use. Cheers for seeing me. If you know the person quite well, you could probably use that, but I would not. I would say don't use that. I don't know who said that. I don't know if it was a joke. But let's do this. Now, you know, it shows a lot of enthusiasm, guys, but I wouldn't suggest using that in an interview, especially if you're meeting the person for the first time and you just walk into their office and go, let's do this. I don't think they're going to really appreciate that so much. Okay. Okay, so let's go to our second poll. Okay, and which one of these is correct? Do you answer questions with just one word? Okay, do you speak as much as you can when answering questions? Or do you give specific details when answering and don't talk too much? Okay, so no one's going with answer questions with one word. And got 2 people going with okay. Okay, so I'll tell you, we actually, Mr. Aaron showed this in the example interview as well. I don't know if you all remember, but he was talking about how he doesn't like traveling because he gets sleepy and things like that. Now, I'm just going to end the poll there and share the results with you. So absolutely right. Answering with one word, absolutely terrible way to do it. Okay. So why do you want to work with us? Because I do. You know, you really need to give good details. Okay. But on this, at the same time, you don't want to keep talking. Okay. Mr. Aaron in the interview kept talking and talking and talking. Oh, I don't like traveling on buses for too long because I get tired and I get sleepy and I want to be close to home. The interviewer doesn't need to hear that kind of thing. Okay, so really giving specific details when answering and don't talk too much. You're just giving the details. Now, I'm just going to take this point because we're going to move on to meetings in a second. We'll do one more poll actually, and then we will, last one, here we go. So, which one is correct? Copy the tone of the interviewer, always have a formal tone, or always sound excited? We got 3 there. Which one should you do? Okay, so, oh, okay. Ooh. Okay. So we've got half on those first 2 answers there. Let's leave it a few more seconds and just see what you come up with. Okay, guys, so I think some of you either came in a bit late or you missed what we were saying. So I'm just going to end the poll there. There we go. Now, I didn't say always have a formal tone. I said copy the tone of the interviewer. Okay. Now, the interviewer is setting the tone. They're going to show you, do they want you to be very formal in this interview, or do they want you to be a little more friendly? Let me give you an example for this. When I interview teachers for the SVS School for English, I set an informal tone, a friendly tone. Our teachers work with people. They work with you guys, the students. So I've got to know that they can be friendly with the person they're speaking to. So in the interview, I'll be able to see that. If they speak to me too formally, then I'll see that perhaps they're not right for SVS. They might be great teachers, but perhaps they're not right for SVS because we try to create a friendly atmosphere at the school. So really, guys, you should always try to copy the tone of the interviewer. If they're trying to set a friendly tone, you be friendly. If they're formal, you be formal. Okay? I hope that's clear to you guys. Now, the topics I've given you here are, I've given you the basics. If you do want to learn more, you want to learn how to structure your answers. We did a webinar on this a few months ago on how to structure these kind of answers. And that's why I didn't go into it so much today. But if you do want to learn more, we at the SVS School for English, we do teach these kind of things. So you can always sign up, or you can also write to us if you want to get some ideas on how to improve your English. And at the end of today, you can also ask me some questions about how you can improve, or if you want to understand a little bit about structure, you can ask me some questions on that. Make them specific, obviously. Okay. I'll explain how you can ask questions afterwards. But now we're going to move on to meetings. Okay. I thought I pressed the button, but I didn't. Let's go. So meetings. Okay. Again, same thing about tone. You're going to copy the tone of the person who is leading the meeting. If they're very formal, you should be very formal. If they're friendly, you should also be friendly. Okay. Mainly just those two tones. If they're angry, don't be angry. Not a good idea. Okay. So let's have a look at this. Getting started. Getting started. So we walk into there and let's say there's 10 people sitting there. You're going to be nervous. Okay. We all are. If I walk into a room with 10 people that I need to talk to, I'm going to get nervous. So this could be done for interviews as well. Just do a small exercise that helps you. So if you want to build the confidence, your confidence, a good thing would be to do deep breathing beforehand. Sounds strange, deep breathing. How does that help? What it does is it calms you down. And when you walk in, you're going to be able to talk and speak calmly. Generally, if we go in too excited or too nervous or too scared, we speak faster. And that will mean that people at the table or in the meeting room won't understand what you're saying, perhaps, because you're speaking too fast. So take deep breaths, and it calms you down and it allows you to speak slower. Another thing to do is you could just warm up your vocal cords. I like to do one that's red lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry, yellow lorry. Okay, that's a great one. It's called a tongue twister. And then there's another one that I do with all of my students when they come to the school, and that's how much wood, chuck, chuck, wood, chuck, wood. Okay, it just gets your mouth moving, and it kind of relaxes you a bit before you get started. But let's look at when you walk into that meeting room. Okay, what are you going to say? Let's have a look at some phrases here. First, obviously, the easiest one that I'm sure you all know is good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Okay, don't say good night because that means you're finishing and you're walking out. Okay, but generally morning after. Okay, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Let's have a look at another one. Let's begin. Okay, so you start with, hi, good morning, everyone. Let's begin. Or, I'd like to welcome everyone to today's meeting. Since everyone's here, let's get started. Okay, you might do that if you've been in the room for a little while and then people are coming in slowly, and then when everyone's there, since everyone is here, let's get started. Okay. Next, I'd like to thank everyone for coming today. So obviously these meetings are not just one-on-one, these are group meetings, but these are some good phrases that you could use to start your meetings. Okay. Next, introducing yourself, okay, or introductions, really, introducing yourself. I'm Sebastian. I'll keep this meeting brief as I know you're all busy people. Again, I'm Sebastian. I'll keep this meeting brief as I know you're all busy people. When you try at home as well, remember, keeping that tone a bit friendly. I'm not a formal person, so I would always keep it quite friendly in the meetings and interviews and all of that. Next one. I'm Sebastian, and I arranged this meeting because blah. You have to finish that part off yourself. Don't say blah, because that won't work in a meeting, okay? But you have to give the reason why you're starting the meeting. So very simple ways of introducing yourself. Now, when you're in a meeting with many people, you may not know everyone there, or they might not know each other. So you're going to ask them to introduce themselves to everyone there. So we can start with, let's go round the table and introduce ourselves. Dylan, do you want to start? There's a bit of body language there. Don't do that. Pointing is very rude. Open hands. Dylan, do you want to start? And then Dylan will introduce himself, give his title and things like that. Okay. Next one. Let's introduce ourselves quickly. Please state your name, job title, and why you are here. Okay. This might be a little more formal. The first one was probably a more friendly one, but the second one may be a little more formal. As I said, I'll be giving you this language after, and if you want more language, you're welcome to come along to the school and we can help you with any language you need. Next one. You can't just have a meeting and not tell them what this meeting is going to be about. So how do you introduce that? You can't just say, we're talking about this. No, we need to have better language. So there should have been ... That's my fault. I've called this meeting in order to talk about the issues with blah, blah, blah. Okay. We're here today to discuss blah, blah, blah. Don't say blah, blah, blah. This is just the language I'm giving you here. Okay. There are items on the agenda. First, okay, so there are 7 items on the agenda. First, we're going to talk about, and then you bring up the item. Number 4. Today, I would like to outline, let me start that one again. Today, I would like to outline our plan for, and this is giving the idea of a new project perhaps that you're doing. Okay, I hope that language is very helpful. Remember, the whole time you need to think about your tone. You need to think about your tone as you're speaking. Right. Next, you know, there's always a time when somebody's speaking and you're like, oh, I really need to say something. Okay. Now, can you say, oi, oi, shh, let me say something? No. Maybe you want to, but really that is not a polite way to say, to interrupt someone. Okay. So we're going to look at some phrases to help you interrupt politely. Sorry, but just to clarify, let's listen to that intonation. Sorry, but just to clarify. Okay. Sorry, but just to clarify. You're not going to say here, sorry, but just to clarify, because that comes across as rude. So we need to have a lighter tone to our voice. Sorry, but just to clarify, did you mean, Next one. Sorry, I didn't quite hear that. Can you say it again? Now, if you're having a meeting and somebody's speaking really quickly, or perhaps you didn't understand a word they used, or their accent, something, could be anything. You really need to understand to be able to understand the flow of the meeting. So you might have to say, sorry, I didn't quite hear that. Can you say it again, please? Be as friendly as you can with your tone. Remember that. Next, that's an excellent point, Melanie. Melanie, what about doing a second webinar as well? Yeah, my wife's going to kill me. I said her name wrong, Melanie. That's an excellent point, Melanie. What about doing a second webinar as well? Yes. What about it? Again, being polite the whole time. From our interrupting, remember? Excuse me, from our department's perspective, it's a little more complicated. Let me explain. So if someone is talking about something, but they're not getting the right idea, you might interrupt with this. You might say, sorry, from our department's perspective, it's a little more complicated. Let me explain. Okay, but remember, a friendly tone. You know, it doesn't matter what language we use. If we don't have that friendly tone there, we're not interrupting politely. I can say, sorry, but just to clarify, and it doesn't sound friendly. Sorry, but just to clarify. And the last one, excuse me for interrupting. From our department's perspective, it's a little more complicated. Let me explain. Remember, very friendly tone. Tone is very important in all aspects of English. It's very, very important. I say it to all of my students, okay? You want to be friendly. Friendly tone goes like that. Rude tone goes like that. Sorry, but just to clarify, I'm bored, I'm rude. Sorry, I didn't quite hear that. Can you say it again? Bored, rude. Sorry, I didn't quite hear that. Can you say it again? Okay, might add the word please. English people love the word please and thank you. Okay. Now, when you don't completely understand, like I gave you a phrase previously for the interruption, but this one is when you don't completely understand what people at the meeting have been saying. Sorry, but just to clarify, do you mean, and then repeating what they said perhaps in your own words, just to make sure that you've understood it completely. And this can be done anywhere. This doesn't just have to be meetings. If you're talking to someone and you're not sure whether you're following exactly what they're saying, you can use this kind of phrase, okay? Sorry, I didn't quite hear that. Can you say it again? You might add please at the end. I like to add please at the end, but I'm English and that's what English people do. so sorry, I didn't quite hear that. Could you say it again, please? Okay, next one. I don't fully understand what you mean. Could you explain it from a different angle? Now, this might sound like a strange thing to say. Could you explain it from a different angle? Does it mean 90 degrees, 45 degrees? No, it doesn't mean that kind of angle. What it means is you're trying to explain it in different words. Okay, you're going to try and look at it from a different perspective. Okay, so I don't fully understand what you mean. Could you explain it from a different angle? Next one. Could you explain to me how it's going to work? Could you explain to me how that is going to work? Again, try and be a nice flow to your voice. So could you explain to me how that's going to work? How that's going to work? I know that sounds very strange because half the words are missing, but yeah, could you explain to me how that's going to work? And the last one, just to be clear, do you mean, and this is again a way to clarify or confirm what you believe the person is saying. If they're not saying that, they'll obviously come back to you and say, no, that wasn't what I meant actually. Okay, guys. So adding information. So we've had the interrupting, we've had clarifying, but now if we want to add information, so they're speaking, and you want to add something because you feel they've missed it, you might say, that's an excellent point, Sebastian, person's name. What about doing as well? Okay, so you're just adding to the point. But here, do you notice how we're saying that's an excellent point? You're giving credit to the person who's speaking. So you're being polite by giving the credit and then saying, adding another thing to it. You're not saying you're wrong, you're just adding extra information. And from our department's perspective, it's a little more complicated. Let me explain. It's another way of just adding more information. Okay, so it could be one to interrupt, and then the other one just to add information. Okay, guys. Right. That is the end of the webinar, but I'm going to ask if Mr. Aaron can come in again. Mr. Aaron, are you there?
Yes, hi.
Hi, welcome back, Mr. Aaron. So we're going to do a demonstration meeting. Now, obviously, we don't have 10 people sitting here. So I'm going to adapt the language slightly so that you can hear it used correctly. This is going to be a correct one. Okay. So are you ready, Mr. Aaron?
Yes.
Okay. So I'd like to thank you for coming in today, Aaron. I'm Sebastian. I'll keep this meeting brief as I know you're busy.
That's great. Thanks, Sebastian. And it's nice to meet you too.
You too. So I've called this meeting in order to put together a project for the intermediate students.
That's great. I've put together some ideas for that too.
Oh, I'm very glad to hear that. Would you like to take me through some of your ideas?
I'd be delighted to. Firstly, We were thinking of field trips with students so they get a chance to practice their English in real world scenarios. Perhaps going to London or doing a tour of the city.
Sorry, but just to clarify, do you mean a field trip to England?
Yes, that's correct. We have found a way to fund some of our best students so that it won't be an added cost to the school.
That sounds amazing. Could you explain to me how that's going to work?
Well, we were thinking of asking you to pay for each student.
Sorry, I didn't quite hear that. Can you say it again?
Yes, of course. We were saying that you could pay for everyone.
Wow. Okay, right. We'll finish it there then, Mr. Aaron. Thank you very much again. So guys, I hope you noticed there, Mr. Aaron's tone was different from the first one with the interview. First, with the interview, it was a very flat tone. Sorry, I wouldn't say flat tone, but it was more of a formal tone, whilst mine was a friendly tone. But both there, he and I, had a friendly tone throughout. Okay, guys, so that is the end of the webinar today. We are going to send you the language, okay? We're going to send you the language that we use today in the webinar so that you have it there and you can use it next time you go for an interview or the next time you have a meeting. But I'm just going to share about SVS very quickly, and then we'll move into some Q&As, okay? Which will open up your mic so you can chat to me, but not a chat, but you can ask me some questions and I can try and help you through them. So if you want to join the SVS family, you can either visit us at 273 High Level Road, that's in Killabunna, Colombo 5, it's near Ballapokana Road, or you can call us during the week, not at the weekend, so it's 011-438-7744. You can now WhatsApp us. We do have WhatsApp, and it's I guess it's a lot easier for you if you want an immediate answer and a clear answer, or you want links to things. We can send you links via WhatsApp, or you can just email us. So admin@svsenglish.org. If you just want to visit the website, you can just type in svsenglish.org. Okay, guys. So we are planning to do another webinar, and that will be in the new year. Now, people have asked us for the interviews and meetings. Now, obviously, we can only take you through a certain amount in a webinar because we don't, the webinars are supposed to be quite short so that you can take in a lot of information in a short period of time. But we do want to open up another webinar at the beginning of January. So there's been a lot of people who have asked, but let's put up a poll and see what you guys, as you're the guys who turned out today, let's see what you would like to learn. So what would you like us to help you with in the next webinar? It's going to be at the start of January, I think around the 8th of January, but just have a vote there and let us know. Natural speech, public speaking, speaking with confidence, grammar. So natural speech would be looking, I guess, at the tone, the way the tone goes up and down. It would also be looking at the kind of language we use in different scenarios. Public speaking would be about the whole projecting your voice and, you know, the kind of language you would use in public speaking, and probably a lot of body language also. Speaking with confidence, yeah, that would cover a few, probably both of them. We'd have the tone, we'd have the body language, and the language as well. That's the type of language you would use for this. And then grammar, which, you know, we do at the school a lot of grammar, and that's probably our biggest focus at the school is grammar, to help you with structuring and everything, because the grammar will help with all of that. Okay, so let's have a look at what most of you have voted for. Speaking with confidence. Speaking with confidence. I love it. Oh, it's changing. Oh, there's people going for natural speech. So actually, it's quite equal between natural speech, public speaking, and speaking with confidence. But speaking with confidence has kind of clinched it. So I'll show you there. 59% of you want to do speaking with confidence. 56% natural speech. Now, I guess there's no harm in doing natural speech and speaking with confidence together in one kind of webinar. So perhaps next year, the beginning of next year, January 8th, we'll obviously post on Facebook and let you all know when it's going to start. But we'll try to do a speaking with confidence and natural speech webinar. Okay, guys, so I am going to open up for questions. You can all ask me questions if you want, but if you wish to ask me a question, okay, you're going to have to put your hand up. Okay, you're going to have to put your hand up. I don't know if you all know how to do that. If you go to More on your toolbar, it will show you raise hand. If you do have something you want to ask me, you can simply raise your hand. Let's just stop the share so the full screen is my beautiful face. Okay, guys, so if you do have any questions for me, you can raise your hands or you can even type the questions. So we got, when is the next skills course? That's a great question there. We are looking at doing a skills course, but I can't promise you anything right now. We would like to do it in January, but it's not 100%. Keep an eye on Facebook, guys. I can't promise anything right now, but keep an eye on Facebook. And if we're able to do the skills course, we'll announce it there and we'll let you all know. Okay. Let's look at the Q&A here. Upper intermediate. So people are asking for upper intermediate. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, so upper intermediate, we're hoping to do upper intermediate, but it won't be in January, unfortunately. We'll try to do it as soon as we can. Okay, we'll try to do it as soon as we can, but it's just not going to be possible right now. Okay, and you are more than welcome. Anonymous attendee, it says. I can't say who you are. Okay, and any other classes? Physically start. Yes, Ravindu. We are starting physical classes in January. The government have said we can open up. We're going to have smaller class sizes so that we can do social distancing, obviously. And we're going to follow all the guidelines, but we are going to start physical classes in January. So please, I know a lot of people didn't come over the past 2 years it's been now because there weren't physical classes. But yeah, you're more than welcome to come back now. Please tell your friends as well if they didn't attend today. So I think I've answered everyone's questions. I don't know if I've missed anyone. I hope not. Does anyone have any questions they want to ask me? So do you have an online classes in the evening? Because I live quite far away from Colombo, I can't attend to the morning classes. Yeah, so we do. I can't remember right now which classes are online actually, but please, you can call us or WhatsApp us, find out which classes are online. There are some, but they're not all online. I think we have about 3 classes that are online next term. How many classes are there right now? There are at the school, well, right now there's nothing. We've just finished the term, but we are opening up. We've already opened up the classes for next term, and we have the elementary, pre-intermediate and intermediate courses as we do every term. And as I said earlier, we'll try to open up a skills course. I cannot promise you that, but we are going to try. Upper intermediate will have to wait, unfortunately. Are there any workshops for teachers, Anudra? Anudra, good question. When you say teachers, do you mean English teachers? Because yes, we would obviously love to, but you know, we have to find out if there are a lot of teachers that want to actually join these kind of classes. There's not so many people who so many teachers who want to join the classes. So I've got some people who have got their hands up, so I'm going to allow them to talk. So Devanga, hi Devanga. How are you, Devanga? Devanga, can you hear me? Did you have a question for me? Oh, maybe not. Or maybe she's fallen asleep. Hi, Devanga. Hi, Devanga. Did you have a question for me?
No, sir.
Ah, okay. Okay, no problem. Okay, so Denwani, did you have a question for me? You've put your hand up, it seems. Okay. No, she's removed her hand. Denwani, you have got your hand up. Hi, Denwani. You can speak now.
No, sir.
No question for me? Okay, guys, just raise your hand if you have a question for me, okay? Hi, is this Mikyon? Grace Miki. Hello?
Hello.
Is this Mikyon?
Yeah, Miki.
Hi, how are you? What was your
How are
question,
you?
Mikyon? Very well,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
What was your question, Mikyon?
Yeah. How is the pronunciation quit, Q-U-I-T-E, in a workshop?
Quite.
Quite or quit?
No, quite. So quit would be Q-U-I-T, quit.
Yeah, but in the interview script, please look at the script. There is a spelling Q-U-I-T-E.
Quite, as in quite big or quite small?
Adverb? Yeah,
Yes.
small. But
yeah, we would use...
quite or quit? I can't quit quite or quiet.
I'm just checking. I didn't quite hear that. I didn't quite hear that. Yeah. So it's
no quit. Q-U-I-T.
No. It's quite. So when we say quite, it's just a friendly way of saying it. So it's I heard you, but I think I missed a little bit. Okay. So it's just it's saying it like that. Okay. Thanks for the question, Mikyon. Nice to see you here. Okay.
Yeah. So
okay. Bye. Okay, anybody else have questions? Anuta, did you have a question? You've raised your hands. Anybody here have a question? So many people. Birdie, do you have a question for me?
No, but
okay,
but
very
I'm
nice.
so happy to be here.
Excellent.
Had a good time.
I'm glad you came. Okay, so many people have their hands up. I don't know if anyone wants to speak though. Guys, if you do want to speak, please put your hand up and I will open your mic. But if not, just put your hand down so I don't open your mic unnecessarily. Vimsara, did you have a question for me? No? Okay. Any more questions? Really looking forward to attend the classes. Okay, guys. Yeah, I'm Kavindu, terrible student Kavindu. Love the message. Yes, it'd be great to see you. Times, please have a look. I think we have all the times up on Facebook. You can look at the timetable there. We will have the timetable up again. We'll be posting it again, so you can all see that. Okay, guys, if you don't have any more questions, because there's so many people with their hands up, but nobody actually has any questions for me, apart from Mikyon. Let's try Vatsala. Vatsala, did you have a question for me?
Oh, hi, Mr. Lawrence.
Hi, Vatsala.
No, I don't have any questions, really.
Okay, everyone's just raising their hands. Thanks then, guys. Okay, well, look, it was lovely to have you all here, and I hope you all enjoyed it. And if you have any more questions, guys, please feel free to write to us. You can message us on WhatsApp. You can email us. You can call us at the school phone number, anything. Okay. And it was lovely. I mean, some of you I haven't seen in about, I think, Mikyon, I haven't seen you in about 4 or 5 years. So it's wonderful to have you here. And sorry, there are some questions. Oh, sorry, I'm missing some questions here. Shiana, Ralph, where will the classes be held physically in January? So there'll be SVS School for English, Shiana. The SVS School for English is in Kilapona, High Level Road. We're just opposite the Balapokna Road there. So you can come along there, but just send us a message or send on WhatsApp or give a call to the school, 011-438-7744, and someone will help you find the place, okay? And what is the difficulties of school right now for opening Skillet and upper class? It's not so much the difficulties, it's more the number of students that want to do the skills and upper classes. But because there do seem to be quite a few people asking for skills, that's why we're looking at it now. But we'll have to see, because it also depends on the teachers. You need a good teacher. There are different styles of teaching, and so there are certain teachers who will do skills and certain teachers who will do grammar, and so we're looking at that. So we will definitely update you as soon as we've made a decision on the skills class. Okay, guys? Okay, guys, thank you all. Oh, there's another one. So Samindra has said, ask Mrs. Melanie, this is my wife for you, those of you that don't know, if she can remember her most annoying student from 2020. I'm sure she does. My wife has the best memory for names. I have a great memory for faces, but a terrible memory for names. Anyway, guys, look, thank you all. Samindra, I'm sure she's seen that question and she's giggling away. But thank you all for coming. It was very nice to see people from so many years ago. You know, Mikon, Birdie, Atsala, all of you guys, so many of you. Lovely to see you all. And please, if you do want to find out more, just send us a message, call us, email us, whatever you like, okay? Merry Christmas to everyone, Happy New Year, and don't forget, we'll be having another webinar at the start of January, I think around the 8th of January. Please tell your friends, this will be based on what you asked for today. Sorry, there's another Q&A here. It's a great session, thank you, sir. Oh, well, thank you, okay. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please come back on the 8th and we'll focus on those two things that you asked me in the poll. Have a great day, everyone, and a great Christmas and a great New Year. Take care. Bye, all.